Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone on this Wednesday evening. Hope to find you all well. In this stream, we're going to talk about Chris Chibnall because photograph surfaced this morning, and then one of our someone in the chat actually sent me a clearer photograph. John, the Weeping Angels are now going to be part of Series 13. The Weeping Angels. Now, if you do remember, while we were talking on this channel a few months back, I says, well, don't be surprised if he brings them all, these old villains back. And it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. But the question we have to ask ourselves is why is he bringing them all back? Does he think by bringing them all back that fans are going to jump back on because of all the member berries? Or should we tell Chris Chibnall the harsh reality of the situation, which is it's nothing to do with old villains whatsoever. You could bring back the greatest villains of all time. The problem is your writing and your team's writing. It is absolutely ridiculous. So you can have the Sontarans, you can have the Weeping Angels, you can have the Master back, you can have the Daleks, you can have whoever you want. But if the writing is not up to scratch, none of these things will work. So also in the same image now, it was already confirmed, but we've seen a photograph of him now. The comedian, what's his name? Something Bishop. What's his name, guys? His name's from Liverpool. Comedian Bishop. Second name is Bishop. Oh, what's his bleed name? Anyway, he's been confirmed. Never knew he was an actor because I've never seen him in anything else before. So he's brought in a comedian, right? And let's be honest, why is he bringing in a comedian? John Bishop, that's the one. John Bishop. So he's brought in John Bishop, a person that has no acting experience, and we know why he's bringing him in. He's bringing him in because he is a comedian and he will give us that comedy relief. If you need to bring in a comedian to do that because the people that you've heard on the show don't have a personality, well, this is what's going to happen. Last year it was Lenny Henry, but look what they did with Lenny Henry. Lenny Henry is a comedian by trade. Also, he is an actor, but look at the role he gave me more than his own mother. I wouldn't be surprised if John Bishop has done something dodgy in this series, and that's why he's being chased. Also, Jodie Whittaker has finally been seen on set. Again, I will point out we never said that Jodie Whittaker wasn't going to turn up for Series 13. The question that we've always posed on this channel was, where's Jodie Whittaker? Like, where did she go? Like, why hasn't she been seen filming like everybody else has been seen? That's all we asked. We just posed the question. Well, she's been seen on set and she's filming away there with Manique Gill. So looks like Series 13 is in full swing. So yeah, I will show you that image of the Weeping Angel because there's a better. So I put up a video earlier, but I got this image after I posted the video. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to add this image to the video that I put up. But I did do some enhancements on it, to be honest, and it did look like a Weeping Angel, even without the enhancements as well. But you wanna check these things properly, you know, before you open your mouth, because you look foolish if you don't do your research. And that has happened to me a few times, I have to admit. But you know, I'm getting better at that, to be quite honest with you. Right, so who am I looking for? Yeah. There we go. I had him there. Right, just to show you this picture. Do. Right, so here we go. So this is a clearer image. This is the clearest image we have, and it's definitely a weeping angel. So just to show you is there. So there it is there in its full glory. So this was the picture that someone had originally taken, and this was the picture that was floating about. But someone has clearly taken a better picture, and it's definitely a weeping angel. I wonder how Stephen Moffat feels about that, actually. This is a Stephen Moffat creation, so I wonder if Stephen Moffat has given his permission for him to do this. So I don't know. I really don't. Someone says I sound rough. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. So yeah, I mean, look, Weeping Angels. I mean, when they first came out, I was impressed. I thought they were a good villain, but by the end, like everything Moffat created, they kind of became a bit of a joke. I mean, that worst scene ever, that bleeding Weeping Angel Statue of Liberty, still has to be one of the worst things that he's ever done. The Weeping Babies weren't too bad, but I thought they were just a little bit of a gimmick, to be quite honest with you. But you know, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what he does with the Weeping Angels. But let me know how you all feel. Now, what I'll do is right. I'm only literally what's this? We're only 7 minutes in, 8 minutes in. I'm only literally doing an hour, and I mean 1 hour. So I'll bring a few people on if they want. But I'm only doing an hour, and I'm sticking to that. So if anybody comes on, just know we're only on for the hour. Okay. What am I looking for? That's what I'm looking for. Right. So I know there are a few people saying that they don't care, but in all fairness, this is what we do on the channel. We do cover this stuff because even though we don't care about the era, we still like to see what kind of shit show it's going to be. And you know, I'm gonna keep reporting like I've been doing. And when stuff comes out, and then when stuff is revealed, I will obviously talk about it. But you know, we spoke about this several times a few months back on the channel. Don't be surprised. We've all said it on the channel. Look, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know what Chris Chibnall's doing. We have him sussed out. So we knew once he started it during Series 12, he was going to double down for Series 13 with all of these villains. And don't be surprised if there's more in the can. So, yeah, while the era, we don't like the era, I still have an interest in what's going to be going on in it. Because, you know, some of these villains we've grown up with. And some of us in the chat have grown up with some of these villains. So this is, you know, he's messing with your villains now. You know, not just the classic villains, but he's messing with new Who villains as well. And, you know, that's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. By the way, I have seen a few articles and I have seen a few people say about the ratings, right? That Chris Chibnall has said that ratings don't matter anymore. Well, he's a clown, right? Because ratings do matter, right? Now, while the show, and I'm going to make this clear, while the show is financially secure because of the HBO Max deals and the deals with China, the show is financially secure. Editorially, Piers Wenger will say that it's healthy. I would disagree with that because 7 million households walking away tells you everything you need to know. Ratings do matter. If ratings didn't matter, right, and I'll put this to anybody that says, well, ratings don't matter, right? I'll put this to you. If ratings don't matter, then explain to me why they have a rating system in the first place. The simple answer is this: because ratings do matter. That's why they have a rating system in place. That's why they have a rating system that takes into account the new TV habits. So that's another thing that the other side say that is wrong. Everything is taken into account, right? So if ratings didn't matter, like you are all saying, well, then why do we have a rating system? Why don't we just scrap the rating system if ratings don't matter? Chris Chibnall's an absolute clown. Ratings do matter, right? And he'll say anything he will while he's showrunner anyway. So I wouldn't be listening to any interviews from that idiot when he says that ratings don't matter. Ratings clearly do matter. They mightn't matter to the BBC, they mightn't matter to Chris Chibnall, but at the end of the day, right, if you end up with 500,000 viewers watching your show, I guarantee you won't be coming out and saying ratings don't matter then, right? Ratings do matter. That's why they've got a rating system in place, right? They've always meant something. And someone's just brought it up, Scott McKenzie in the chat. Great point, mate. If ratings do not matter, the show would not have been cancelled in 1989. Exactly. Why was it cancelled? Because of bad writing, because the ratings went down the toilet. And once the ratings go down, BBC have a decision to make. So Chris Chibnall is a complete clown when he says ratings don't matter. Ratings do matter, right? Why do you think everybody was reporting about how low the timeless children had done? Because ratings do matter. So don't be listening to him. Don't be listening to interviews either. And all of these interviews, you know, that Jodie Whittaker is doing as well. Another thing I would say is just because she's doing interviews, she has to anyway. Like, I don't know why anybody thinks any different. But when she's going to be promoting this, like, you know, as I said, wait until we don't know past Series 13 what's going to happen. So we'll see what's going to happen past Series 13. As I said, the rumors is that she's going to go, but we'll have to see about that. Obviously, as I said, it's all rumor and speculation. And this rumor has persisted since Series 11, the end of Series 11. So anybody out there making stupid little claims, well, it's every year saying Jodie Whittaker is leaving. Well, that's because the rumor hasn't went away. That's because there is talk of her gone. So, like, you know, if you want to ignore it, you want to call it what I'm saying, it's fact. Never said it's fact. So, you know, at the end, as I said, ratings do matter. You know, so I'm not listening to people out there when they send me little silly little things saying, well, Chris Chibnall said ratings don't matter. Well, they do, right? And you need to get that through his heads and start thinking that way. Because if you don't, because this is what I believe that the fandom that support this have basically they don't care. So they don't care about ratings. This is why. And Chris Chibnall, you're right, he probably doesn't care about the ratings because he's like them. He's pandering to a vocal minority. They don't care about ratings. They don't care about canon. Chris Chibnall's already proved he doesn't care about canon. And he certainly doesn't care about ratings because ever since he's took over the show, the ratings have been gone downhill. So he reflects the people that he panders to. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, someone's put it in the chat there, stop funding the BBC. This is the only way that you guys can get your point across. So what I'd say to you is if you have a TV license, get rid of it, but get rid of it the legal way. There is a way of doing it. There's plenty of YouTubers that have actually done YouTube videos on it. So you can just check the simple steps to take. You know, get rid of that TV license. Show BBC that you mean business. You know. So that's where I stand on it. I mean, look, it's come to the point where we're getting these ridiculous statements every day now. It seems to be some sort of article with someone making some sort of ridiculous statement, you know, and that Chris Chibnall has said, then is being projected by all of these other nonsense morons. And then they say, well, Chris Chibnall said the ratings don't count, so blah, blah, blah. In your face, sucker. Well, do you know what? Here's the thing about it, and here's the ironic and funny thing about it. He's are defending the show so staunchly, right? And it's on its last legs, right? It'll come a point where there will be no show to defend. So every bit of effort that you put into trolling, every bit of effort that you put in of harassing people, every bit of effort that you put in defending this era is going to be for nothing. It's going to be for nothing. Because as I said, Chris Chibnall's wrong. Ratings do matter. Over the last several days, I've had different people, come to me and say, oh, this is what Chris Chibnall said. Don't care what he said. He's talking out of his ass. The reason why we're in the situation we're in with the show and the ratings are so diabolical is because of him and his team of writers. And we've been saying this since Series 11, and nobody's listened to us. And if you had just listened, and as I said, we all kind of got away from the focus a little bit. Everybody was guilty of it. We projected all of our anger towards Jodie Whittaker. But the thing about it is, all of the anger and all of the problems that we have with the show is down to one man, Chris Chibnall. And that's who we need to focus on. And that's who these fans need to focus on. Because you even heard them yourself, right? On Twitter, on Facebook. They say, Jodie is a great doctor, but Chris Chibnall's writing is bad. Well, if his writing's bad then, right, and he is actually agree and the writing is bad, well then why don't you inform the BBC that Jodie Whittaker's doctor deserves better writing? Like what we've been doing. Right? I don't necessarily like her as the doctor, but if she had better material, you never know. She might actually surprise me. I doubt that very much, but I'm willing to give it a try. But we don't have great writing, right? That's the problem. We don't have great writing. We've never had great writing under Chris Chibnall. Look at these episodes that he did when he wasn't showrunner. They weren't great either. So how did BBC think that this man was the man to take this show forward and take it into the new decade? No, he's not the man. He's not the man. But, he'll point fingers. He'll blame the audience. I won't be surprised if he throws Miss Whittaker under a bus to save his own skin. Because that's the type of man he is. He will not admit he's wrong. Never. And that's the problem that we have. When you have a showrunner that's stubborn and you have a group of writers that are attacking fans as well, and I don't care, right? Listen, I'm going to say this out straight. I don't care, right, if writers see these fans, right, complaining about their stuff, right? Because I'll tell you what, it's been going on for donkey's years, right? We've always had critics, right? Obviously, we're living in a social media age. It's different. Everybody's become a bit of a critic, right? But the one thing that you'd have one or two incidents over the years, but one thing that you never see is writers really go on the attack and attack these critics. They mightn't agree with what they say, but what they'll do is they'll do something else then that will basically stick it to the reviewer or the critic, right? That's what they do. They never come out and attack. Now, it has happened, or I'm not going to say it hasn't happened. Of course it's happened. It's happened, but not as often as you would think nowadays. But nowadays, right, we have creators out there, writers out there attacking the very fandom that they're supposed to be selling their stuff to, right? And we've seen it in the Doctor Who fandom with Paul Cornell, and obviously the latest one with what's his face, Vinay Patel, if that's his name, if I'm saying it right. Apologize if I'm not, but I think that's who the writer is. Hasn't wrote anything decent for Doctor Who, yeah, but then goes and attacks a fan. Now, listen, I don't particularly like this person either, right? But that's not the point. If you start going around attacking fans, you've crossed the line. That's where, there's no respect. The respect is gone. And this showrunner and his team of writers do not respect you as a viewer and never will. So That's the bottom line. There's so many problems with this era, but the main culprit, it all points to one man, Chris Chibnall. He's the one that's making the decisions. And again, I will say it one last time, bringing back all these old villains, bringing back old companions even, is not going to do you any good if your writing isn't up to scratch. And it hasn't been up to scratch for 2 seasons so far and a special. It's been dire. And that's the bottom line. So why does everybody think all of a sudden he's going to produce like they did, after Series 11? Oh, don't worry, get it right during Series 12. And then when you didn't get it right during Series 12, I'll be fine, it'll be fine. We'll see where this goes Series 13. And then you'll hear the same arguments again. You'll hear the same argument. He's still finding his feet. Or the writing is bad. But they'll come out and say the writing is bad. But they'll leave it at that. They won't push it any further. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. You need to kick and scream before these people listen to you. So I mean, look, he's just this whole show is a disaster because of Chris Chibnall, and he's a lot to answer for. But listening to his interviews, listening to what he's saying, ratings don't matter. That tells me all I need to know about that guy. He doesn't care how far this show falls. He doesn't. And he's going to be the captain that's going to hit the iceberg, that's going to make the ship sink. And I could see it coming. I really can. And the thing about it is, all you guys want to be worried about the Sontarans. You just want to be worried about the Weeping Angels. You want to be worried about any other villain that he brings back. Because I'm telling you now, by listening to everything that I've seen in newspapers, listening to me sources, you can clearly see that there's some sort of retcon going on somewhere. Maybe this is why the Weeping Angels are making an appearance. There's probably gonna something happen in between Blink. Wait, you see, he just steals other people's ideas. I don't know, man. It's like as if he's gone back to the classic and New Who era and said, right, which stories weren't really finished, but I can finish and put my own spin on it. Let's see. That's what it feels like to me. And that's not a good sign. And as I said, it doesn't matter how many villains you bring back. It doesn't matter if you bring secret doctors into the equation. You bring Captain Jack back. It doesn't matter. If the writing's not there, it all falls apart. Right. So let's see. We got 44 people watching. Do me a favor, give the video a like or a dislike if you don't like what I have to say. It seems to be the thing lately. Share, hit that notification bell. And as I said, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. We will be covering, as I said, when we get more information, we will be throwing it out there as we do. And we will be keeping an eye on things because it's getting very interesting now. Filming is obviously in full swing. We're getting to see a lot more photographs. I will say one thing though. I am grateful for all these eagle-eyed fans for taking snaps, because then we wouldn't, if there was no information getting out at all, it'd be pretty dull, wouldn't it? But I have to be honest though, where's security? Because, are they supposed to be stopping all of this from happening so there's no spoilers? This is the one thing that I will say, even though there's a few breaches during the Moffat era, he was able to keep most things under wrap, right? Now, apparently Chris Chibnall is so secretive. He's this, that, and the other, but yeah, we've seen the Sontarans already. We've seen the Daleks, a year ago? I mean, this guy is just unbelievable when it comes to leaked stuff. So where's the security? Because they're obviously not doing their jobs properly. Because even under Moffat, it wasn't as bad as this. Even under Moffat, it wasn't as bad as this. I don't know. But I tell you, guys, all these member berries, it doesn't bode. I don't think this is gonna do well. And Weeping Angels. I actually like the Weeping Angels, and I'm actually dreading to think what he's going to do with them. Because yeah, they did get silly near the end. They did, but I mean, you start off with Blink, which we're doing this weekend, but then you get that two-part with Matt Smith's Doctor and Karen Gillan and River Song, and that's where I think the Weeping Angels. That's where for me where that was the best Weeping Angels story for me personally, that two-parter. So I actually love the Weeping Angels, and they were in the end cliffhanger for Class as well. Oh Jesus, don't tell me. No, he couldn't. Nah, you wouldn't do that, would he? Nah, he's not that clever. So yeah, that's it really. But that all I wanted to really say. If anybody wants to add that now, I'll bring some people on. So we've got 27 minutes gone. So for the next half hour or so, we'll bring on some people. So if anybody wants to come on, just let me know in the chat by pressing one and see what names. We'll see what names pop up there. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what you guys all feel in the chat, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when a few people come on if they want to come on. Daniel predicts an overnight of 2.5 for the special. That's his prediction. So we've already got two people coming on. Is it me you're looking for? Yes, it is. It's me you're looking for. Bloody computer is taking its time. It's taking its time. So we'll have the Mandalorian review tomorrow. Tomorrow after Rabbi's quiz. Just in case anybody is wondering. But when Ninja Night comes back then, I'll have to do some serious reorganizing. Actually, that's why I wanted to move certain streams. Because, I have two streams on a Wednesday. Then I have one on Rabbi's channel and the Mandalorian on. So it's like 4 streams in 2 days. Actually, who else wants to come on? Let's see. Right, just have to go back up and read the super chat. It won't get 5 million views. Not a chance. Not a chance. Right, we've got a £5 super chat. Could the Weeping Angels be the future version of the Time Lord? Says Nicholas Horton. Oh Jesus, don't be giving Chris Chibnall any ideas, will you? No, Nicholas, don't be giving him any ideas, mate. Right, just before you all type 1 or 2 for Tardis time, if you want to come on here now tonight, press 1 for me. I've got one person waiting. I have sent email there, so please check your emails. But for if you haven't received an email, right, we've got half an hour left, folks. So yes, you need to press 1. Jesus Christ, what have I said? I said press 1 if you want to come on. That's it. Lee's getting sacked. I'm getting married in the morning. Right, there's another email sent out. Check your emails, folks. Right, we've got 2 waiting. Tell you what, while we're waiting on the other fella, because you will get a word in edgeways now, you will before he comes on. Jesus, you're out of luck. He got here. Right, sorry Daniel, sorry Charlotte. You won't be talking, but nice to see you anyway. But yeah. Right, let's bring him on because he's going to take over the whole stream. I'm only messing. It's the one and only Englishman. It's that problem being fella, you know him.
Well, hello.
Yeah. And then we've got someone that's come all the way from Scarrow as well, but he lives in Scotland. It's that Scottish Davros fella.
Hello guys, how are you tonight?
Oh, not too bad. And we've got his co-host on his channel as well. It's the one and only Iron Lady herself, Charlotte.
I've been called worse.
Oh, bloody hell. I apologise for my Irish friend.
Like I said, I've been called worse.
Get much bloody worse.
Right, so I don't know if anybody else is coming on, but we'll wing with you guys for now. So obviously you've heard what I've been talking about. So I'll tell you what we'll before, because Lee is just as bad as me. We don't let anybody talk. So I'm gonna shut him up permanently by muting him. I'm only messing. But he's gonna be a good boy now for 5 minutes. We're going to let Charlotte, because we've got ladies first, as we say on this channel. So, Charlotte, is there anything you'd like to add, or have you got your own opinion? Or
I'll talk about the ratings, because I've seen that also repeated in tangent, because Chris has come out, obviously, in this interview. And here's the thing. Ratings, yes, whereas there are other factors. It's not solely ratings that they look at. There's merchandise, there's buzz, there's press, there's other things. Ratings, a big thing they do is feed into public perception of the series. If you've got high ratings, that adds to the perception that you're doing something well, that you're successful. I mean, why did they keep talking about that first episode of Jodie's? Because it got that record rating. So what happens is people hear high numbers, they think, oh, it must be doing really well. People from the outside who might not be watching. But if multiple articles, if multiple things come out and say, lowest ratings since 1980, whatever, some of the classic stuff was that it's not quite as low as yet, then that feeds into the perception that the show is not doing well. It feeds into the perception that the show is diminished, it's weaker than it was in its heyday. And that is a big thing that people will go, well, I don't watch it, but I've heard the ratings are really bad. That's how people outside think. So that's why if your ratings are really bad, that it should be an alarm sign. And I think Chris is purposefully deciding, to him, the ratings might not matter, but there'll be people above him, there'll be people in the BBC above him who will happily have a different opinion. But of course, he's the showrunner. He has to look good. He has to look like he's steering a ship that's doing really well at the moment. So of course he's going to say ratings don't matter. So that's what I would say to the thing I've heard on repeat that people are saying. But he says the ratings don't matter.
Well, see, that's the thing. If ratings didn't matter, then why have they had a rating system in since God knows when? It's always been around since I was born anyway. So, I mean, look, he's talking out of his ass. This is a guy that's trying to put on a brave face. He knows it's gone wrong. He's not stupid. Of course he knows. But he's trying to put a spin on it as if, well, listen, I've also heard this argument as well. Well, it's a period of adjustment for the older fans because they're still trying to get used to it. Listen, if they're not used to it after 2 years, 3 years actually, because we've had the festive special, the last one, it's been 3 years. Like, if they haven't gotten used to it after 3 years, they never are going to get used to it. Listen, it was a poor decision.
Yeah, and this is what I don't understand. Why is it that in Moffat's run, he got plenty of flack? He got plenty of fans giving out that they were saying, oh, you started this plot thread and it didn't go anywhere. Or, oh, you've done a bit of messing around or changed stuff. Has the fandom forgotten Hellbent and the reaction that episode got? This isn't new. So why is it in this era suddenly we can't criticise? When we've done it in Moffat's run, we even did it in Russell's run at times. Why does this era have to have a shield? I don't understand.
Daniel, would you like to add on to what Charlotte is saying there? We'll move it along because I want to give everybody
Well said,
a
Charlotte.
chance. And yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, listen, you be quiet. I'm the host here.
Fuck off.
I'm putting you in an Irish prison, mate. Hold on, Daniel. I'm putting you in Mountjoy prison.
Can you let
mate.
Daniel speak, please? I want to hear what Daniel
You
has
be
to
quiet,
say.
you.
Quiet. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. Thank yes. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Daniel, carry on. Daniel. Daniel. Carry on, sir.
Go ahead,
Alright.
Daniel. Yeah.
Alright, okay. Have I got permission to actually talk?
Yes, Daniel.
Right. Well, I can completely agree with what Charlotte had said, but I want to actually add my own point to that. That's right. I mean, Chibnall was approached during the time RTD was about to hand over the reins, and he turned it down the first, and he turned it down in the, and he turned it down at the first time asking. That should have been like a telltale sort of sign that he wasn't up to the task. And secondly, no, I mean, like, I do think as well that I do think as well that maybe it's the Angels that will be getting an origin story, because if you remember correctly, there was a bit of dialogue in the end of time special part where even like, and also on that social you mentioned the weeping angels of old. So maybe as Chibnall has picked out that bit of dialogue and has picked out that bit of the dialogue from the further than the end of time part, and is in terms of I can maybe try and put my own spin on it and try and try and win and get arts. But as Charlotte said, the public perception is so bad to the damage that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in terms of the all the perception of the show is so far in the toilet. It doesn't matter what the quality is going to be like, to be honest.
Yeah, right. I have to be honest though, you make a very interesting point about that dialogue. Lee, would you like to actually add anything about that? And now, the floor is yours.
Well, I mean, the dialogue, I mean, you know, a dialogue is not a word I'd associate with Chris Chibnall at this point, frankly. I think Numan in the chat there said it rather succinctly, the weeping audience. Look, let's be honest, right? The last person on the planet that we should be listening to talking about how ratings don't matter is Chris Chibnall.
Yeah.
Right? Look, the man has the fucking gall to come out and say that when he's at the fucking steering wheel, driving the bus into a fucking mountain, and telling everyone not to worry, take your seatbelts off, it's fine. You know, it's so much hubris, right? Sheer fucking hubris to come out and say that. That is someone who's clearly on the ropes and trying to deflect everyone by gaslighting the shit out of them. And no one's buying it. Nobody, right? If anyone's remotely intellectually honest, which seemingly some people just simply aren't, because they're in such utter denial. I mean, I had an argument today with someone who insisted that the ratings for the Eaters of Light were worse than the Timeless Child.
Yeah, but the site that they actually quoted is a shill site. It's
of course it's a shill site. But what they did was
they're not even telling the truth. They're not.
What they did was, right. This is how fucked they are in the head, right? And this is how they justify things. They took the ratings for the Eaters of Light consolidated, right? The 7-day consolidated number, and put it up against the Timeless Children's 28-day consolidated.
Wow.
That is
reaching. I didn't know that. But listen, if you want proper ratings, you go to the Doctor Who?
Yeah,
Doctor Who. Yeah, they always Doctor Who TV. It's always spot on with the ratings. That's who I look to, and it's a BBC run thing. So I even go to them. They even show a fault. Listen,
well, it's not a BBC run thing that they are.
They're actually using those 28-day consolidated figures against the 7-day. Well, then I've heard it all, mate. I've actually heard it all. That is actually pathetic.
But here's the thing. I think Emma's even said this in the chat, or I saw her say it somewhere else. Why is he bringing in all these villains?
Yeah.
Desperation, trying to get our fans back.
Exactly.
Because I was thinking about this. If you think about, like, usually one villain has one episode, so you can sort of give a villain an episode slot. So let's go through them. Sontarans will be 1, possibly now Weeping Angels, so that's 2. Dalek, we all guess he's going to do at least a Dalek thing, 3. The Master, 4, so that's a 4th or more than one episode, considering what the Master can be like. And remember, 7 episodes for the main series. So that's 4 out of 7, and they're all old villains. They're not his.
Yeah, and you know what, though?
And there's probably going to be more.
Eddie actually put something up this morning, and, as you know, I keep an eye on Eddie's account as well, because he does put up some stuff. But according to him, most of these villains are going to be in 1 or 2 episodes together.
Oh, really?
Together.
Oh my god.
Not even in separate episodes.
So what do you think this is going to be like, the Weeping Angels versus the Sontarans? Because that seems quite close together in the filming schedule here.
They do, don't they? And
Mm.
that's what I'm telling you. There's something going on, unless all of these villains are being brought back because he is trying to retcon, or there's something going. There is. Look, there's something definitely going on. Nobody can deny that. This is why I'm fascinated right now. I'm fascinated and terrified at the same time, though, because there's definitely something going on. There has been even talks by him himself saying that the Dalek story is a sort of a retcon. And we've already seen by the Timeless Children that he's done a retcon. So this whole thing stinks of a retcon somewhere. I just can't put my finger on
Yeah,
it.
but that means Moffat's given him permission to retcon his
Yeah.
own creation.
Not necessarily, because I think the rules regarding creations of monsters and things in the BBC has changed. I think from the days of Terrence Dicks and Terry Nation and all these other writers, they held hold of the intellectual property rights for those creations, the name, the image, all the rest of it. I think nowadays it's different. I think the BBC, if you commit to writing something for the BBC and create something in the BBC for Doctor Who, I think the BBC maintain the rights these days for those creations. So I don't think the writers continue to hold. I think it's in their contracts. I'm not sure, but I believe that things have changed in favour of the BBC. Surprise, surprise. Maybe someone can look that up and confirm that, or call me out.
Really, I wouldn't put it past them, mate. I wouldn't put it past
Well,
them.
I wouldn't think that Terrence. I don't think Stephen Moffat would be particularly pleased. Quite honestly, I can't imagine it. I really can't. But who knows?
There is another possibility with the Weeping Angels, and that is there is a game coming out next year with David Tennant and Jodie's Doctor, there's a game with them and there's a Weeping Angels game. There's 2 games coming out next year, and one is a Weeping Angels game.
Yeah, you're right. Spot on. And maybe that's why they're putting them in the...
Well, again, it's desperation. It's sheer desperation. Look, it's all well and good having classic monsters and villains come back. Yeah. We all love it when that happens, but it's usually sprinkled throughout having
with new stuff. Exactly, new exciting stuff. But where's the exciting stuff, Lee? I don't see that.
Well, and I think Tim Shaw was probably Chibnall's best idea that he could come up with, and that fell flat. He tried to bring it back for a finale.
Yeah, which made no sense.
Not only does it not make any sense, it was just such a really stupid, dull villain. It's like a predator alien versus, the Tooth Fairy or something.
What I wanted to do? I wanted to get out the Colgate.
Give him a good old brush up and this fizzog.
You got to admit, though, that fella chucking the kebab was like the highlight of that episode.
Yeah,
I think Chibnall may have had more success with his alien villains if he had made them actual villains rather than making you and me the villains. He brings in all these exotic-looking aliens. You think, oh, they look cool, and then they're just misunderstood, and actually, it's the human beings that are the villains. It was every single fucking story, almost, of season 11 like that. And it's like, okay, one time you do that, that's relatively cool and a good idea, good concept. But every single bloody story went along that road. And it's just like, oh, look, who's the villain again? It's the evil white men. It's the evil men again. The guys, those people, they're the bad people. The dregs, that was at season 12. So even then he was still doing it. You had the evil space racist. You had the bad dad. You had the evil witch hunters. You had, all of these stories. Demons of the Punjab. Was it the bad aliens? No, it's the bad brother or whatever. I didn't even watch it. I was past the point at that stage. But look, it's just like he clearly has absolutely no faith in what he's doing. He's gaslighting the shit out of everyone, trying to deflect from his failure. And it's exactly what it is. He's appealing to his base so that they can go out on Twitter on his command and go, well, ratings don't matter, and just repeat the talking points parrot fashion as they always do.
Yeah, well, ratings do matter, and you will get a rude awakening when this special comes
undoubtedly. And look, they're going to cheat this. We know they're going to. Look, if they can get 50,000 people, or not 50,000, if they can get a few thousand people to make 50,000 votes in a Radio Times poll, these people are going to be trying to run around getting as many fucking playing the episodes multiple times on various different things just to get the ratings. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to do that. They're that fanatical.
It won't make a difference because you're still going to have those households that have walked away. And remember, that's 7 million, but we don't know how many is going to walk away after the time this child rubbish. So that's more fans that are going to walk away. Listen,
all we want is good Doctor Who.
The ratings right? We know this show's in trouble. Chris Chibnall can say that it's fine. We know he's wrong. So if they don't change their tune, Series 13, I'm telling you now, is looking already by looking at it. Listen, I don't want all those member berries. I don't want Daleks. I don't want Sontarans. I want something new and original. That's what you were brought in to do. That's what you said when you took over the show.
Very true. Very true.
Do something new. You gave us Series 11. Okay, I will admit we didn't like it. Right, and then you thought you licked your wounds and you decided to go to familiar for Series 12. But no, you should have stood firm and you should have continued during Series 12 and showed us what you were going to try and do. Instead of doing all of this, no, well, if they don't like what I'm going to do, they're definitely not going to like what I do next.
Well, look at the original monsters created by RTD, right?
Yeah.
What's the classic monster that you think of when you think of RTD's era, like his own creation? Give me an example.
Ood.
The Ood.
The Ood.
Yeah. Anything else?
The cat people.
The cat nurses. Yeah.
The Slovene, because of just how weird they were.
Slovene. Okay, quite iconic. Okay, and then we go to Stephen Moffat's era. We've got the Weeping Angels. What else have we got?
The Silence, which I actually really liked.
The Silence, another, yeah.
And you kind of got and they kind of get characters such as Abbas, Ong, and David because Abbas Ong is technically of the creation as well.
You've also got The Empty Child. Are You My Mummy?
Yeah.
So, and then we come to Chibnall. Tim Shaw. That's as iconic as it gets, as far as that was his returning monster, right? 2 series. We got the Pating versus the Silence. There says John Steed. I think that's pretty good. Good comparison. That's the level of difference. And the Pating, as we can see, is a rip-off of something else. Like we've seen it in Futurama. We've seen it in another show. I can't remember. Someone mentioned it. It was similar to another monster that was a little thing that was running around eating everything in sight. But that's, again, like in Futurama, you had the little creature doing the same thing in that.
Do you know what I think it is, though? I've got a feeling Chibnall overthinks everything he writes at times.
I don't think he thinks at all. I don't think he overthinks anything. I think he underthinks.
If you think about Russell's monsters, they all had a core concept that was quite simple to explain, even though they looked quite fantastical at times. Like the Jadoon.
But all his alien monsters have been very passive, haven't they? I mean, they've just been sort of observers, and then again, it's a distraction from the wonderful reveal surprise that it's the humans that are the bad people, the monsters in this. It's you and me who are the bad, over and over and over and over again.
Yes, and also if you think about on the topic of villains, that's impacted Jodie's Doctor negatively because she's never come across a villain that you really thought, oh, they've got her under the cosh. Oh, how's she going to get out of this
Oh
one?
no, she just talks her way out of it and waves a magic wand and fixes everything.
No,
whilst getting a few people killed in the process.
Her doctor can't grow. Her doctor can't have those moments.
Well, there's no
that
challenge.
you can connect to. No, and that's the issue. She hasn't had a challenge.
No challenge at all.
Of the lack of villain and like rogue gallery, if you want to use that term, he's created for her.
No, I think that's right, and it's not memorable.
Had plenty.
There's nothing memorable. There's nothing memorable. There's no rewatchability. I couldn't imagine sitting down and watching not even one episode of series 11 or 12. I mean, I struggle with Peter Capaldi's era with episodes that I'd like to watch again and again. In fact, most of New Who. I mean, if it wasn't for these watch-alongs that we do on the Sundays, I don't think I would be overly keen to rewatch a lot of New Who, to be frank. But this era in particular, it's the antithesis to me of the era that I particularly value most of all, which is the classic era, which has infinite rewatchability for me. I think because they are serialized, they are episodic, so you can watch them and watch the story unfold over a few episodes, and you've got a clear beginning, middle, and end. Whereas these sort of modern day stories are forced into a 40-minute or an hour-long episode, if at most, where you have to fit all the character development in, all the exposition, all the stories, introduce the monsters, villains, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes you might get one or two episodes linking, But I've always struggled with that format in the modern era. But Chibnall's taken it to a new level, really. One very, very low. It's so alienating, to use a phrase, to me, that and so dull. It's so dull. That's the main problem I have with it. It's boring. The characters are one-dimensional facades. There's nothing going on behind the eyes. The script is laden with exposition. It doesn't give you anything to think upon. It's all solved for you. And it patronizes you. More than anything, it patronizes you. RTD's era didn't patronize you, didn't have to. It was brilliantly written and carefully crafted. Sometimes it went too cheesy, but I coped with it. Moffat got overly complicated with things and went off on tangents and didn't resolve things and left things too open-ended, and it was all a bit of a mush. But it was still kind of entertaining. It didn't always pull it. He didn't always pull it off, because sometimes it just kind of set things up but didn't deliver, Whereas Chibnall doesn't even set anything up. It's just like, here's a situation, bang, she's landed there with a fam, off they go, things happen, pew pew pew. Oh, I'm going to suddenly decide, it's this, that, and the other, blah blah blah, waves the magic wand. Oh, look, the humans are the bad guys, get everyone killed, the end. It's just like, and it's just tedium. And I don't understand how they can even get the runtime, the length of those episodes to what they've got, because there's nothing happening.
Explains everything and over exposition dump.
Yeah, nothing happens. Then she explains everything, waves the magic wand, people die, and that's it. And then she somehow saves the day, even though she's got everyone killed. It's inane, it's banal. It's dull, it's boring, it's unimaginative. It's like an accountant is writing Doctor Who.
No, it's like a drama writer.
Even an accountant is
sci-fi. That's creative. What we've got, Lee. We've got a drama writer writing sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah, and we've got, who does he hire? People beneath him, right? So, because he can't have anyone better than him, because that will just show him up for the hack he is. And so he hires people beneath him. Emmerdale writers. Emmerdale, for Christ. My grandparents didn't even watch Emmerdale, right? So that is just the worst, most dull, fucking whatever that other thing is, the thing where they all come from, all the actors, what do you call it? That other soap, that daytime shite.
Yeah, Hollyoaks and doctors.
Holby or Doctors or something.
No, yeah, that as well. But the other one, Hollyoaks, right?
Yeah.
Where they're supposed to be good looking, but aren't. But yeah, it's all this, and it's the same. They spend more time trying to get the political message in than to make an interesting story. Now, people will argue, yes, Doctor Who's always been political. Yeah, but they've done it in a way that was both creative, that gave people something to think about, not dictate to them, but to make them actually think and provide two sides of the story, and gave you a moral conundrum, a quandary to resolve, and to make you think, well, actually, is that the right thing? And are they the bad guy? You know, that gives you something to work on. What we're given here is a lecture, and it's a dull lecture. It's very sanctimonious. It's very preachy, and it doesn't involve you. It's a very passive aggressive thing. You know, it's trying to tell you this is how you should think, rather than giving you two sides of a debate. And when Doctor Who was overly political in the past, it didn't always work. It worked better as an analogy or as a metaphor, but this isn't like that. I mean, the dregs, for example, were so on the nose, it was painful. Even fans of this era found that painful. And I don't understand how they can keep defending it, because it's every episode is the same thing. They seem to be missing that. I don't understand how they can miss it unless they've been so indoctrinated they simply can't see it. But it's there. It is there. And I find it really disturbing that these people so passively absorb all this kind of stuff, and find entertainment value from it. I just don't get the jokes are flat. It's cringe. She's unbelievably cringe. It's annoying. It's irritating. The stories are just so boring. I mean, like half the time in one episode, like that one where they're dealing with depression and stuff, made me feel fucking depressed and suicidal just sitting there watching it. You got people sitting around in the cafe having conversations. I'm sorry, where's Doctor Who? Where's it gone? Where's the aliens? Where's the fucking plot to take over the planet or the universe or whatever? Where is it? I don't care about these characters. They are so shallow and lacking in substance. They offer me nothing. I can't get emotionally involved to feel any empathy or sympathy for their situation because it's so contrived. It lands in one episode and forgotten the next. It's got no continuity. And it just drives me insane that these people defend such hackery when they could be joining with us and fighting for better stories. It doesn't matter if you like Jodie Whittaker or not. It doesn't matter if you like this era or not. You can have better. Why accept such infantile bullshit? It's bullshit. Why do people just accept such complete... I don't know. I don't want to be pandered to.
Lee.
I want something that means something that's entertaining, something that lasts for decades. And this era doesn't do that. It's instantly forgettable. No one's going to be talking about this era in 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
They're not. And that's what I'll say.
Right.
Got off my horse now. Carry on.
Right. Well, as usual, we should just give Lee a special spot on the channel. Right. Anyway, we have ran out of time though. So do us a favor, lads and ladies, give your channels a bit of a shout out. And listen, we will resume this conversation on the Tardis Zone Talks on Friday. So if people want to add something on Friday or have an opinion, come and join us on Friday. So we will start with Daniel first. So Daniel, let everybody know where they can find you and all of that, and blah 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 blah, social medias and stuff.
Okay, so to kick things off, you can find me on Twitter Celtic, the annual my two Facebook groups, and rules YouTube Hub and Daniel Finish Hub, and my YouTube channel is Daniel each. So and I should actually you up to I'm up to 100 and I'm up to 147 subscribers. So so yeah, I'm 3 off 150. So subscribe. Even get me over get me over the for the shows to um to 150 subs, and Ian Shelton that'll be back in the new year for more year for an audio discussions, and out the and check out the check out the you ask for the past episodes as well, because there's a you ask about the discussions. So yeah, so subscribe. I can and me over the and me up to 150. As I said, I'm on 147 right now.
Fantastic. Charlotte, do you want to just add that in or?
Just that if you like fan stuff, and we try and keep it positive and have a good laugh, me and Daniel, when we're on stream. So look forward to that. And I'm also I'm really enjoying the Beware stuff. So it's really nice also to do discussions, because not anybody else is really doing that. So that's, I think, a really good, unique thing that me and Daniel are doing. I'm trying to think of any channels, and I can't off my head right now. I'm trying to think of any. Wolfenstorm, let's say her, because she's been in the chat. Go and check out Wolfenstorm, because she also does very good videos.
No problem. Right, we'll let Lee start now, because we'll still be in tomorrow by the time he's finished. So
It's not my fault you begged me to come on here.
I did not beg anybody to come on. I said if anybody wants to come
pleading me to come on and vent.
Did I?
I mean, you're asking for trouble.
I never beg anybody to come
Bloody
on.
liar. It's like, Lee, please come on and
you hear him?
vent for an hour.
Right, well, like next time I'm putting you on a timer and I'm letting Daniel and
you wouldn't dare. Yeah. Well, you can. Yeah, I'm plugging myself shut. Right, so you can find me on Twitter. Shut it. Shut it. Right. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at the Golden Asdar. I really should try and get a bit more proactive with Parler, but it's still not there yet for me. I'm just like, but you can find me there anyway. I'm the problem being. And you can check out my other channel, which has me Box of Delights, including all the work I've done for Noel and more to come. So if you want to keep up to date with that, you'll find everything there in full HD. And that's at Ordred Audio Visual.
Fantastic. Right, well, I thought we'd be here until tomorrow evening, but we've actually finished 9 minutes past the time originally. So for us, that's actually not bad. That's very good, actually, isn't it? But we're back tomorrow for the Mandalorian, and then on Friday we have and again, join us for that every Friday. And listen, it's not restricted to Doctor Who. So if there's anything else in the world of pop culture, or any article or anything you want to highlight when you come on, let us know. You're more than welcome to talk about anything related to TV and film, music, and stuff like that. But this is not 20 questions, asking all 20 questions, though, because,
Yeah, it's not a place to come in looking for an argument. It's it's like the Monty Python sketch. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. Look, it's a place to vent. It's a place to be excited about some news. It's a place for you to come on and have your say. So make the most of it. Don't use it as a platform just to come and go, no, you said this, and why do you think that? And that it's immaterial. You know exactly what Noel's thinking and saying because he says it. So there you are. It's for you, a platform for you.
Exactly.
So make the most of that.
Yeah, thank you, Lee, for that, for disturbing me while I was in the middle
Shut
of
up.
Just
look, I was helping you.
You were, but typical Englishman sticking his nose in somewhere where it doesn't belong.
801.
That was a good one, though. Right, but on Saturdays we do have this, and I do look forward to Saturdays. So that's every Saturday, 7 p.m. UK time. Don't forget to join us for that. This week's story is The Two Doctors. The trailer is already up on the channel. If you have never checked it out, check the trailer out. Anyway, it's absolutely fantastic. And then we finish off the weekend with... Just to the end, be kind. Great words by Capaldi there. Right, folks, so that's it for tonight. We will see you tomorrow. We'll have the quiz. As far as I know, the quiz is on Rabbi's stream. Then we'll be back here tomorrow night for the Mandalorian review. As soon as Ninja Knight is back on the radar, then we will get back.
Oh, he's back on the radar now. He is.
Is he? Right. Well, then next week we will see whose channel we're going to be on.
And don't forget to check out Irish Geek as well, Noel's other channel. If you're up late at night in the UK or if you're over in America, and you want to watch some gaming.
I do a lot. I'm playing Black Ops 3 Zombies. Last night I got to round 34. It's a high round thing that I'm doing. So
even though you should be watching Blake 7.
34 tonight. So if he's going to join me and watch me kill some zombies, it does be fun. I have to be honest, it does be fun. Come and join me on the Irish Geek. I'm there as well, and check out the channel. A bit of a laugh. I don't really talk that much on that channel, so you'd be good to know that, because I know some of you are sick of my voice now at this stage. But there you go. Right, so I'll say good night to me moderators. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. Really appreciate it. Panel, thank you for coming on. I know it's short notice, but thank you for taking the time. And we will see you tomorrow for the Mandalorian, the quiz on Rabbi's channel, where I'm hoping to win.
And hopefully we'll be watching some Blake 7 in private at some point again. So, if you're about, join us. We'll let you know.
Shall have to have Noel sometimes. You do know this, right?
No, he's not allowed.
You can't have him all the time.
No, look, I'm doing this as a favour to him. He needs to be exposed to Blake 7 because it's vital. It's
sometimes as couples, it's good if you do separate
Look,
things.
if he can spend all night, playing games, he can watch Blake 7 because it's better for him. There you go.
Oh, you do sound like a wife.
I am being sanctimonious prick here, but I think it's important because Blake 7 is life.
Yeah, to you. Okay, with that, we're going to have to leave it there. Daniel, thanks for coming on. Charlotte, absolutely fantastic. And Lead the Mouth, thank you. That's your new nickname now, Lead the Mouth. That's what we're going to call you now. We're not calling him Bing anymore.
Mouth.
It's Lead, or we just call him Mouth. Yeah, Mouth. Right. Good night, Mouth. I'm Mr. Rant. Ross and the Iron Lady. We will talk to you again. Very, very soon. Have a good one.